Hi, Tracy. Here's how I think you should go ahead and follow these steps to put this uh, into your domain. So I'm going to send you a link to make a copy of this form. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a copy of this. I'll leave it in that same folder. So I'm going to make a copy of the form so that you'd basically be starting from scratch, but this way, okay, and then it's going to want to build the upload folders. That's something you're going to see wherever you decide to make this. So then I would go to my responses and I would link to a sheet and I'd create a new sheet. And by the way, all of this should be being created in here. If I were to refresh my folder, I should see a copy of Tracy competition and a copy responses. So now you can see here's the information that we have on this is the form, this is the sheet. What we need to do is then copy all of the scripts. So I'll be sending you a document with all the scripts. I would go to my app script. This is a brand new app script for this copy. The first thing I would do when this pops up is I don't know why it's taking its sweet time. So I would get this script running. I would rename it to. So I checked this. Let me just see if this is going to work. So random markers. I do have some random markers here. I think I got all that set up the way it should be. Let's go ahead and give this one a test run. I had to change some things up. Column index C is not defined. Okay, I had changed that to column index M. Let me pause. Okay, so yeah, I ran the, well, let's see. We haven't run this yet. Let's come back here and let's go to this menu and let's run the on open menu. Boy, once in a while you get that error. I've never quite understood why. Generally, that happens. I have to do this. Anyway, let's see if this on open will run. Try it one more time. AppScript seems to be running a little weird and slow tonight, so unfortunately something's not right with that. Oh well. What I was going to show you is that, if I had the menu item here, but the point is that I ran this marker script from here, and the markers got, two random markers got put here, and then we got something that's not working right for me here, so I've got another thing to check. So yeah, I fixed that error that was happening. So now what you can see is the email marker, so the unique ID runs, I haven't set up the triggers yet, but we've got this set up for that. The random markers are added, two of them are added, and then back over here, we're tracking them on the marker sheet. So, and if I were to exceed, so like for instance, if I said that this could only have one, then notice that goes away from the available marker. So that's how we're tracking that. And this is the list of the markers that have been chosen, the marker 1 and marker 2, and what that's doing is splitting. The script puts 2 email addresses in here, and this then splits it so I can count. This is how I figured out how to count how many times an email address is used, so we can build this system. So far so good. The last thing for me to check is the email. Let me go ahead and check. Let's see, one's going to WebHand, one's going to LGSD. So let's go ahead. So I don't I can't show you the emails, I can see them on my phone, but yes, these two emails were successfully sent with this. So the modifications I've made to these scripts right now, I will modify them into the document because I've had to change a handful of things from what I'd been experimenting with to accommodate these. So I know this might be a little disjointed. I've had to make several multiple videos I'm putting together. But the main idea here is that you will make a copy of this form. You will create this sheet. You will add these 3 columns. You will add this sheet with this formula, and you will add this sheet with this formula, and this formula. And that way, I think that would be all you would need, and then you would install all 4 of these scripts. And you would, one of the things you need to change is, of course, a grade URL that you make. So just these are the basics of here's our menu. By the way, I'm still trying to figure out why this won't run. Cannot call spreadsheet get UI from this context. That's a real weird one. I see it once in a while. I think what I have to do is put this away and maybe refresh this sheet. And then there we go. And now make IDs, assign markers, send emails. We'll all pop in. Anyway, so I think that's it. I'll try to share all this back out with you, and if you have any questions, and you would be able to demo this to your team. And I will make sure on the document sheet that you've got the formulas you need to put here, and here, here, and here. And the others, these are just header names. This header is created by this, so you don't want to type in here. If you type in here, this will fail. This is a virtual array, and we're marking the marker 1 and marker 2 coming from that formula. So I'll get all that pasted in there, and you can give this a shot yourself, make sure everything works, and let me know what issues you have. Sorry, Tracy, I thought I was recording all these steps I just did. Let me back up. It'll be a little faster this way. Anyway, what I had done after I had created this sheet from the form that I made the copy of, this is the copy of Tracy Test Competition. First of all, I renamed data, but actually what I was showing you, and I thought I was recording and I wasn't, was opening up the script editor, and then I've just added all the scripts from here. I had copied and pasted all the scripts from this sheet that I'm sharing with you, which is basically the menu script, and then the unique ID script, and then the 2 marker script, and then the email script. So anyway, all I've done here is use this function, added a script, gave it a name, got rid of the dummy function that's in there, and pasted in these functions that we have. So I thought I was recording that. I apologize, but hopefully this is something you would be able to do. And then, we came here, and then this is when I realized I wasn't recording. I renamed this to data, I added the nums sheet, and I was just getting ready to add the markers sheet. Okay, so that is what I would do, and I'm gonna need to get you some formulas in here. So the nums sheet, we can come over to my example and go to the nums sheet, and I think I could just grab, this, go ahead and copy that and come over here and go ahead and paste. And so this basically is, becomes our nums sheet. I would probably lock that front row. I would delete all these extra columns. So that gives me my number sheet and lets me know whether or not That's how we track if a unique ID number has been used. And then I would come over here and my markers, what I could do with the markers is basically grab these 4 columns, go ahead and copy those, come over to this new sheet and go ahead and paste. So this is a formula that evaluates which markers are available. I guess I might have to make a copy of this sheet for you as well so you can copy these formulas, might be easier. And this is another formula. Let me go ahead and mark that in green so that you can see. And max allowed is just what you're going to put in your markers. And actually, I've reversed this on this version that I was making. I was doing some testing here. It's actually the email first and then the name. So let's switch that around on this copy. This would actually be the emails, and this would be the markers names. And let's go ahead and paint format that so that stays the same. So, and then, I think I would end up doing is centering all of that and centering it this way, blah, 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 this kind of thing. Okay, so this would give me the available markers, and this is the number of assignments that they've been given. This is the max allowed. So if I put 5 here and I put in an email here, 1, or I'll just use mine, for instance, twelch@redtailfan.org, and then you would see an available marker as twelch@redtailfan.org. I don't have any assignments, but 5 are allowed. This is what we're using to, and I think I would get rid of all these extra rows or columns. I never like having extra stuff in there. So you would have your markers, emails, that would be showing up, and you would have their markers' names if you wanted. And I think that's it. I think that is basically how this would work. Let me go ahead and test something. I'm going to pause this for a minute. Actually, let me back up a little bit. I do actually need a couple more rows. I had done a different testing thing here on this markers. I was testing out this assign to markers script. So actually what this needs to be, this actually needs to look like this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to bring that over to here, and I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here. So yeah, we're gonna get, this is okay. This is a formula that is going to be looking at data where we are going to have that that double email entry. Okay, so in column L on the data sheet, we need to add in the unique ID, and then we need to add in the next piece we need to add in would be, let's see, coming back to this example, we need the email addresses. I actually may change this name, because what this really is the, yeah, and that's, we're not gonna need that formula the way we're doing it now, so this is just gonna be the random markers. Okay, and the script is going to fill in that data. So the script is going to fill in the unique ID, the random markers, and then it does look to me like we have an email status window or row as column as well. So email status. Okay, so I think if I were to look at all this now, I might go ahead and center these. Okay, so this I believe is what our, and then we have a couple extra columns in here that we don't need to use. I'll get rid of them. I'll do something like this, and then I can kind of see all the columns. So there's the columns for our our form, and we would be filling out this form, and we would be needing to add these different columns. This is up to here is all submitted by the form, and then the script creates a unique ID, the script adds the random markers, 2 email addresses, and the script tells you whether or not you've emailed them. So that's what you would do. So backing up a little bit, let's see. I don't know what's happened to my copy of, okay. So this is the copy of the Tracy test competition. This is the form that you made a copy of, and that's all the fields. This is the sheet. We've added a data sheet, a num sheet, and a marker sheet, and I'm gonna probably send a copy of the one I'm working on here so that you can grab this data and put it on this working version that you're gonna build from scratch. So I guess the next step would honestly be to test all this stuff out and see if it worked. So let me pause this and add a little bit more data, and even just 1 or 2 different markers, and then we'll submit a form and make sure everything is working with the scripts. I actually think one of these scripts, I need to modify one of these scripts for columns, so let me test that out and get that the way it needs to be. So in this version, I'm going to, submit some data here I want to test something out. Okay, so this actually needs to be, 1@me.com. Okay, it needs to actually be an email or it doesn't work. This is a middle school, UK. We'll just say John Bolton. Primary student, student's 13 years old. This is $8.99, and we'll grab a file, and we will submit a file, and then we'll submit that, and let's take a look at what happens here. We should get some data. Bam, 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 bam. Perfect. So we've got a data, everything's filled out the way we'd expect. So what I want to do now is, I think I've got this unique ID set. So let's go ahead and run this. Of course, the first time you're going to run this, we're going to have to, got an error for some reason. Oh. Must be an issue with AppScript, I think. Let me refresh the AppScript window and see if this makes a difference. I should be being asked to authorize right now. And that's what I would expect in my domain. This looks a little different than when you run yours out of a standard Gmail account. And that runs, and it does look like it worked, and there's a unique ID. So that part's working, that's good to know. And then what we need to do is check our markers, because I think there could be some issues with the way I have this set up. This was set up for a different it was running out of a different column. So let me check that.